Hi everyone, welcome to Cola Teaches Math. So here are some Unit 6 tips and tricks. Unit 6 is super large. It's all about integration and applications. So I'm just going to give you some tips for integration. You always want to do a U sub, okay? So the hardest thing is figuring out what U should be. I have a lot of other videos on that. But basic integration, remember we're adding 1 to the power, dividing by the new power. This is an indefinite integral that I just did, but something like this would be a definite integral. You add 1 to the power, divide by the new power. You do your bounds, 1 to 2, and you're always going to plug in the upper bound first, okay? You also have to know, you should know these types of integrals. Exponential integral, 1 over x, which is ln. These are the common ones that you should know. You know what, let me just write them out quickly. The integral of e to the u is e to the u plus c. The integral of 1 over u is ln absolute value of u plus c. 1 over 1 minus u squared du is arc sine plus c. 1 over 1 plus u squared du is arctan plus c. Ln, oh, we just did ln. Let me think if I'm thinking of anything else. You're going to have to do long division if the power is higher on top. So like something like this. Would be long division. You're going to have to be able to do complete the square. If it's a polynomial on the bottom, that is not factorable. That's CTS, complete the square. Chain rule integrals, your goal is to get u to a number. So then it's just going to be u to the number plus 1 over that number plus 1. Look at my other videos if you want specifics on how to integrate, but you need to know your trig integrals as well, so make sure you memorize your trig integrals. Okay, integration, huge part. More so not asking you how to integrate, but like applications. So like the first FTC would be something like this, where they're asking you to integrate with bounds. So that would be x squared over 2 from 1 to 2. We're going to plug in 2 first, minus the lower bound. And you're going to get an actual numerical answer, so 2 minus a half, which is 3/2. The second FTC is when we are deriving integrals. So I'm going to say the first FTC, we are evaluating integrals. There's no plus c. The second FTC, we are deriving integrals. So you're actually integrating and taking the derivative, but there's a trick. You need to know it's the second FTC if it looks like this, d dx, 2 to x squared rad t dt. So it's asking me to derive this integral. The trick is everywhere we see a t, we're going to replace it with the function of x. So this is going to be rad x squared times the derivative of x squared, 2x. Sometimes, though, they can ask the question like this. They can say f of x. They could say, oopsies, this. They can say, if we have this as my integral, find like f prime of a number, so f prime of 3. And you know, anytime you see that prime, that means derivative. Next thing I want to talk about is properties of integrals. You need to know, this is probably the most commonly used one on the AP. What do you call it? You have to negate and flip, so like this is not good right now, because you need the lower bound to be the smaller number, so you're going to negate it, and you're going to flip it. And another common property is you can split up an integral over a number, depending on the question. So like if I wanted to go from 1 to 5 of f of x, I can say that's the integral from 1 to 2 of f of x, plus 2 to 5 of f of x. I have specific videos on all of these topics.